Kevin here with Bandit Garage. Thanks for joining me. Figured I'd start my first video talking about the car that inspired the name of the channel, my 1979 Pontiac Trans Am. I bought this car back in 2016 and it was in pretty much all original condition. Bought it actually out in Dallas, Texas, which was a story in of itself. You know, we searched all over the place, all over Georgia, South Carolina, looked up in Tennessee, right? And all the cars we looked at were either, super nice and had super high price tags, or they were just full of rust and Bondo and, sprayed over the top and just total junk. And they were still, most of the time, wanting too much money. Big thanks for all the help my dad provided. We're able to find this car out in Dallas. We loaded up 5 a.m. on a Friday morning, hauled straight to Dallas, woke up the next day, bought the car, loaded it on a trailer, and drove, straight back, which was, quite the story of itself. Share a few videos or photos of it kind of on the trailer and on the back of us, right? And, that drive back was, quite interesting, right? I mean, you get the truckers honking their horns and people giving you a thumbs up and stuff, right? It just shows the iconic nature of this car. Everybody that really enjoys it, right? And still today, as I drive it, right, you can't go to a gas station without striking up a conversation with somebody, that has their own story of their own Trans Am or, love of the movie, et cetera, right? So, but yeah, bought this car. It was pretty much all original, overall great condition, but it had the Oldsmobile 403 motor in it and the TH350 3-speed transmission. So, driving around town was okay, but you get on the interstate and it was just unbearable. It was, 3,400 RPM on the interstate. If you got 8-9 miles a gallon, you were probably pretty lucky, right? Just to, kind of put around. And that motor just didn't really have anything in it, right? It was those little motors were, small motors, and they were just, just boat motors. So in 2018, started the process of a full engine swap, transmission swap, and then that led to one thing, another, and before you know it, had the whole front of the car blown apart, and you have some progress pictures that I can kind of show of how we went about that. And again, thanks to my dad. Right at the time, I lived about a mile from him, so it was tons of times where I'd be wrenching on something, needed an extra set of hands. I'd call him up, and he'd always be happy to come over and help. Pulling the engine hoist, trying to break the motor out, or trying to fab how the new motor and transmission were going to fit. Getting the body panels all lined back up and everything else, right? So it was quite the effort. It took me probably a little over a year just to do the engine swap alone, much less anything else that I've done to it. And, share little details here of kind of the car and under the hood and inside. So under the hood, had a LS, I think it's a L96, I think is the terminology. Truck motor, 6-liter. Essentially just ICT brackets and everything else for mounting all the accessories. Did a single plane intake with a throttle body, so still drive-by-wire, but the throttle body's hidden underneath the air cleaner there. So still have the shaker hood. When it's kind of driving the road, you can kind of see the motor move and everything else. Granted, with polyurethane mounts and everything, it does not move like the old rubber bushings. Probably especially since that old 403, the motor mount bushings were pretty much shot. Vintage air AC, aluminum radiator. Nothing too crazy. Put headers on it, put a cam in it. You worked with Kyle with Go Up Garage on the engine tune. Super helpful guy. Just awesome working with him. Kind of learned more about how to do tuning a little bit myself. This isn't a super wild. This is kind of a stage 1 cam. Nothing super crazy, so relatively easy, I think, to tune. Still wanted good drivability. Didn't want anything totally, obnoxious, ridiculous. And then interior, I had gone through and pulled the interior out of a 2019 Camaro, so I was able to kind of put in those seats front and rear. I got some photos maybe that are better to kind of show some details maybe here of kind of how the seats went in. So far, I've actually got the vented seats actually working on these. I've not got the heated function yet, but hopefully get that maybe done someday in the future. Maybe I'll share some more details of how that install went. And then outside, you know, it's pretty much stock. Put year one 17-inch wheels, you know, tires on it, but beyond that, had to cut the springs in the front just to get it lowered down. That LS motor is so much lighter than that old 403, you know, boat anchor essentially for that motor with just all iron everything. But yeah, you know, it's just a good cruiser. Nothing crazy, but something I definitely enjoy and something I've loved. So hey, you know, thanks for checking out the car with me. If this is something that you enjoy, want to check out more as I make more progress on the vehicle and, you know, work on other new projects along with, you know, the other projects I have, my grandfather's old pickup truck and, you know, J10 and some of that, please subscribe and hope to see you again next time. Thanks.